What's up, Airsofters? We are here to pump you up with a formidable line of tri-shot shotguns from CYMA. That's right, we're going old school for this video. Check them out. Spring-powered shotguns are a timeless icon in Airsoft. For many players, it was their first Airsoft replica. And we here at Evike.com feel that far too often they take a back seat to all those AEGs and GBBs and whatnot. Well, we're here to remind you that the humble tri-shot shotgun is far from dead, and show you why you need at least one of these in your arsenal. CYMA makes over 40 different variants of the tri-shot shotgun, ranging in price from about the $50 mark up to about $125, depending on the model. That difference in price has mostly to do with external materials. The less expensive Sportline has rugged polymer receivers, while the more premium ones are constructed out of durable and heavier metal. And because we can't possibly show you all 40 versions in one video, we've grabbed 7 off the shelves that we think are best representations of all of the options available from CYMA in terms of shotguns. Now I know what you're all thinking. I can't wait to do one of those. I can tell you from personal experience that because of the way these are designed, racking them aggressively vertically like that can damage the polymer nozzles inside. So while it is fun, just know that there are risks. There are a lot of options for external features on the variety of shotguns that are available. This one is kind of the most traditional shotgun look. It doesn't have a pistol grip and features a nice rubberized stock pad, but functionality remains the same. There are a couple different lengths available for this in polymer and metal versions. A couple reasons you might choose a shotgun of this design is if you like traditional shotgun ergonomics, you like the smaller form factor, or if you intend to throw this in a scabbard. Streamlined design means it's not going to get hung up on anything. This version, in addition to being longer, also features a pistol grip along with its full stock. These are a little bit more wieldable in close quarters engagements, as you can pivot away from it being shouldered and still maintain that functionality. You may find this to be more comfortable for you, but we're still missing some attachment points. That's where something like this bad boy comes in, where the addition of the key mod front handguard gives you a great place to mount flashlights, as well as a vertical grip which makes the racking action a lot more comfortable. In addition to that, you've also got an M4 stock adapter. This is great because it allows you to choose not only an M4 pistol grip, but also an adjustable stock of your choosing to further customize a shotgun like this. However, you're not limited to these options. In fact, you can do one of these. This version gives you a lot more key mod space up at the top, as well as a full-length top rail for optics if you'd like. And I particularly like the fact that they've given you a block-off plate instead of an M4 stock adapter. Now this is removable to throw an M4 buffer tube on there for a stock in the future if you'd like, but the inclusion of that QD sling mount point gives you a great way to hang this off your body when you're not using it, and then have quick access to it when you do. A lot more of the tactical options from CYMA also come with a QD point on either side of the receiver as well. Finally, there's another great option in the CYMA lineup, which is this adjustable stock, which not only allows you to adjust the stock position, but also allows you to roll the shotgun over, which I imagine on a real shotgun allows you to check the chamber. But in Airsoft, because we have a little bit of hop in these inner barrels, allows you to hook these wanted style around corners. Let me know if you guys use it for the same functionality. Taking a look at how they arrive in the box, after removing the cardboard cover, you get an idea of how they all ship in a really nice cut foam, holding the shotgun securely in place. They provide you with a speed loader, a couple of extra shells holding 30 rounds each. This one happens to come with a vertical grip and an extra Picatinny rail, and of course, BBs that you can go ahead and throw away, because I know you've bought some precision BBs from Evike.com. For many Airsofters, the spring-powered shotgun is their first Airsoft gun because they're so affordable. And for those unfamiliar with how this system works, we're going to go over a few of the basics. First, because it's spring-powered, the loading and firing of the mechanism is dependent entirely on pumping the pump action of the shotgun. And because they're spring-powered, it can get a little tiring over time, unless you have, of course, Alphonse arms, and then maybe it just takes you longer to get winded from shooting a spring-powered shotgun. Internally, they have 3 barrels, each handling 1 BB, and the shells inside them, which I've got here conveniently placed on my bandolier, hold 30 BBs, which equates to about 10 shots per shell. That's convenient because these are cheap, durable, and readily stored on your body with a variety of carrying options. Now, 10 shots means that each BB gets loaded into 3 barrels every time you pump the action. 3 BBs leave the 3 inner barrels and collectively fire out the end of the Airsoft spring-powered shotgun, like the CYMAs here. Now, that does mean that while there is some hop applied in the inner barrels, they will spread much like a real shotgun, and so while they're very accurate up close, the farther away you get, the larger the spread will be, as you'll see in the range test. Now, speaking of other ways to carry shells besides this gorgeous bandolier you see here, I've seen people use a variety of pouches, including dual dump pouches where they've got fresh shells in one and spent shells in the other. There are even awesome pouches that have elastic inside them to allow you to keep your shotgun shells in place before drawing them. And then, of course, there are the Polymer belt-mounted versions that allow you to draw multiple shells at once and load them into the shotgun. Not that useful when you're talking about a single loaded shell at a time on spring-powered shotguns, but still really cool looking. Now, I know what you're thinking. Matt, what about the magazine adapters that make these so much more useful? Granted, those are a huge advantage because you don't have to load shells all that often. But that brings us to the question of this episode. Does a magazine feeding a tri-shot shotgun ruin the experience of a tri-shot shotgun? Or does its effectiveness make it all the better of an experience? Let us know what you think in the comments section below. At the front of each model, you're gonna have the pump action, which you're going to rack to load new BBs and then prepare you to pull the trigger. Just behind the trigger on all of the models is the safety. Press to one side, it won't allow you to pull the trigger. Press to the opposite side, and it will allow you to fire. To load the shotgun, we're going to release the ramp by pulling back on this lever here. Pulling back opens the feed ramp. We can load a shell from our bandolier by pressing it inwards and then up into the shotgun. Close the feed ramp, and you're ready to fire. Boy, do I wish 10 shots lasted longer. One really cool feature about the CYMA tri-shot shotguns is, unlike many other spring-powered shotguns on the market, they've actually got a reciprocating bolt, which makes it look cool as if the shotgun is actually loading around. Not really functionally useful, but it looks awesome. Now, I know you might be thinking that you're at a huge disadvantage by having to rack the shotgun every time you're firing, and that lack of faster rate of fire is going to be a huge disadvantage on the field, but that's the beauty of a tri-shot shotgun. You're not shooting 1 BB at a time, you're shooting 3. And while previously you might have only been hitting 1 person at a time, you can get your enemy and his 2 buddies standing too close to him on that corner, eliminating 3 targets at once. That's one of the huge advantages of a tri-shot shotgun. Yeah, slower rate of fire, and yeah, you have to load shells, but the number of BBs that you're throwing down range with each shot is formidable and intimidating. You know, one of the great features about all of the different versions of shotguns in the CYMA lineup is how many different ways you can set them up and customize them. This one's great because it's got key mod attachment points for accessories all over the top and the front, giving you plenty of space for flashlights, vertical grips, which do make the pump action easier, especially if you start to tire out. And one thing I like about them is that no matter what you decide to do externally, they're all pretty much the same internally, so you don't have to worry about a difference in performance depending on which model you go with. And because they're similar internally, that means that they use similar length inner barrels. And despite going to a much longer outer barrel, you really don't have to worry about a lack of performance at distance from going to a shorter barreled shotgun. They're all perfectly useful at standard shotgun distances. In fact, we wanted to do a test to find out if there really was any discernible difference in performance between the longer versions and short. So with the 7 models we grabbed off the shelves, we put them to the test at the range. In our testing, we found that these shotguns have an effective range of about 100 feet and work best with 0.25 gram BBs or slightly heavier. After that, the BBs have spread out and are beginning to drop off. As you can see, they all perform great at the 50-foot test with nice, tight groupings. As for FPS, these are somewhat difficult to chronograph since they shoot 3 BBs at a time and can confuse chronographs. But what results we did get were mostly under 300 FPS, meaning they're perfect for CQB. If you're interested in boosting the performance of your tri-shot, upgrade kits are available at Evike.com. Given the looks and functionality that we've seen, as well as the sheer amount of options available from CYMA for tri-shot shotguns, these really are more than just a nostalgic keepsake. They're great for beginning airsofters, they're fantastic for airsofters on a budget, and they're even better for the airsofter that's looking for a change from the normal standard pistol or rifle options available in airsoft. These are great indoors and a lot of fun to use outdoors, as you saw, as long as you're under about the 100-foot mark. So if you're just starting out and you've got your eye on a shotgun, or you're feeling nostalgic about your first shotgun, or you're looking to pick up an airsoft tri-shot, CYMA has an option for you. Make sure you check them out in all of their colors, sizes, lengths, and options available right here at Evike.com. As always, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel here and click the bell notification icon if you haven't yet. Subscribe or follow our social media accounts on our Instagram and Facebook, where we regularly do giveaways and awesome content. Make sure you're playing hard, playing safe, and playing responsibly. We'll see you guys later. The less expensive Sportline has rugged polymer receivers, while the more premium ones are constructed out of durable and heavier metal.